everyone, I'm Captain Logan.
And I'm Jayson.
And I'm Eric.
And today we're going to talk a little bit about the Power Rangers teaser that just dropped. I was going to do a captain's log, but Eric kind of wanted to talk about it with me, and Jayson really wanted to talk about it. Mm-hmm. So we're going to do a little discussion all together. This won't be super long. We got a 2-minute teaser trailer, and we're going to break it down a little bit. We're not going to go, every little shot and pick it completely apart. But we're going to talk about things that we're seeing that we're excited about, things that we're not sure about, and things, if there is anything that we're just straight up, oh good lord, really, I hope this is not a big giant part of the film. As I always say, we gotta take trailers with a grain of salt because they are there to try to get you to see the movie, not to really necessarily tell you what the movie is. And with that in mind, we'll go ahead and jump straight into it. And I'm gonna start with Jayson, because Jayson is the biggest Power Rangers fan I know besides Eric. And I want to know, Jayson, what you thought of this trailer, and if anything really excites you about it. It is very different from the original Mighty Morphin show, right?
Yeah. Well, it's pretty weird because in the show, Zach is a black guy and Billy is a white guy.
Well, that's true.
Then in the new movie, Billy is a black guy and Zach is a white guy.
That's right. Yep, they flip those around.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. That is a keen observation.
Yeah.
Did you know that before you watched the trailer? Had you seen what the actors look like?
Yeah. I looked at pictures.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, they've just swapped ethnicities.
Yeah.
But what did you think about the trailer itself?
Well, my favorite line in the trailer was, Jayson, that's not a piece of cake!
Did you think it looked like a fun and potentially funny movie, or does it look really serious?
It looks kind of funny and serious.
You think so?
Yeah. Like we trained that.
And of course, I think the tone of the trailer is just straight up Chronicle.
Yeah.
And because we watched this a couple of times. I mean, we watched it. I think I watched it, then we watched it together, and then we watched it just now before we did this. There's a number of moments that I think are levity that trailer is not playing. Because the big one is that when the kid headbutts Billy and then he falls over, that's clearly a joke.
Yeah.
Jayson's favorite line, also a joke, not played like a joke in the trailer. And
it's not like the Ghostbusters trailer where I'm not laughing because things aren't funny. I'm not laughing because I don't feel like I'm supposed to be laughing.
Yeah, they're playing it really dramatic.
Mm-hmm. Especially with that really odd Johnny Cash cover.
Yeah. There's a lot of Chronicles.
I actually don't hate that cover, but we've been doing that a lot lately, right? Where we take a lot of like really classic music and we really slow it down, and if it's a male voice, we make it a female voice.
I've been kind of referring to them all as like 9 Inch Nail covers.
Yes.
That's kind of what this is. It's not as 9 Inch Nailsy as some of the other covers, but yeah, that's a trailer trend now.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the song itself can tell us anything about what they're doing story-wise or why it was chosen. I'm keeping a close watch on this Heart of Mine. I'm not sure what that's going to have to do with the film.
Well, they all have arc reactors, so I'm sure there'll be some kind of heart metaphor.
But they're clearly, trying to play it as this is going to be a more human story than Power Rangers has ever been before, and that's what I'm getting from it as what they want us to think it is, which is why I think that they're not immediately giving us really any Ranger stuff besides the token bit at the end where we're starting to morph,
which I reject a lot.
No, I know you do,
and I
think it's a strategy. I don't know if it's a smart strategy. We can talk about it.
We should at least have Full Ranger as the last stinger bit, not in Morph.
Mm-hmm. That I'll give you.
I'm convinced a lot of people watching, if you saw this in theaters,
you'd have no idea what you were looking at.
You have no idea what you're looking at. And even with the partial morph, you wouldn't know what you're looking at until it says Power Rangers.
The problem with it is, and this is my big fear right now, is that it has the potential to be really generic. And like it could have been anything, and it doesn't matter that it's Power Rangers, and that they're just kind of taking the basic trappings of that. Because the problem is, and like I have not resisted the look of the suits and what little of the Zords we've had, like a lot of other people have. and I just want to see them in action. But I do also, especially now I'm getting a sense of what the tone of the film might be. I'm wondering if they might not be shooting themselves in the foot a little bit, because they could end up making a thing that's called Power Rangers. It doesn't really feel enough like Power Rangers.
It doesn't feel fun enough. And like
so far, and
I appreciate the idea of doing more character-driven film.
Yeah, I want that.
Exactly. My fear is, I've seen a lot of these kinds of movies. No matter how they're sold, the character's always really generic. And I'm worried that these characters are going to be generic.
That often happens, yeah. Well, here's the thing. I don't think people would probably reject the notion of it being a much, much more serious thing, if that is indeed where exactly they're going, if it looked more like that show. Because I think the juxtaposition of that would be really fun, you know. Because I've always said the iconography and the potential mythology there is unique and unlike anything that ever existed before, and is 90% of why that show was as popular as it was. Just take something.
And largely untapped by the show itself.
Certainly more, and that's my point. Is like you make something more polished. You make something that's I don't want to say updated, but that it has better production values, obviously. And then you just have characters with more dimension, and you tell a more character-driven story, like you said. And that's not what they're doing. They're completely reinventing it. And of course we knew that, but now that I've seen like the tone of it, or the tone of this trailer, and that, like, I'm a little bit surprised that it's like they're going to like a parochial school or something. Like,
yeah, they're in prison school.
I don't know about that. I mean,
and I don't like, because
but that's their interpretation of teenagers with attitude, and that's potentially interesting.
Well, and like you said, it's kind of like Chronicle.
Yeah,
they find the coins in crystallized rock. That's really close to Chronicle.
Yeah. Now I don't know if it's gonna be, they're out. My assumption is they're out on some kind of a project, like a school project.
Yeah, probably.
But it looks like it's at night, so I don't know what that's about. But it doesn't seem like they're just at some random place and then they go in the backyard and they find this thing like what happens in Chronicle. It looks like they're there for a reason, and because they're blasting. And I don't know why they're blasting.
Yeah, they have explosives on them, and they're in like a prison school. Like, what? Where did they get those?
Yeah, so like we don't know what that's about yet. But it could be that. But I potentially like the idea of the reason the 5 of them get put together, and obviously they're not all friends immediately like they are on the show, and I didn't expect that. No. I was hoping they wouldn't go there.
Yeah.
But my assumption is they all get put together by a teacher for a project, and then they have to go work on this thing together. Maybe something like that.
I'm hoping that this is like the first 10-20 minutes of the film.
Me too.
I don't want a Power Rangers movie where we don't have Power Rangers till the 3rd act. And I'm worried that is what this is, because we don't just have them like getting the coins. We have scenes of them being like, I'm super strong, and they're all different scenes.
And it's the Spider-Man thing where they're trying out their powers. And
makes me think it's going to be like half the movie, if not the first 2/3, and I don't like
But to be fair, that formula is, like with Spider-Man, all happens in the 1st act, and then by the 2nd act, he's already in costume going around doing things.
That's 5 people.
Yeah.
If they're going to be fleshed out characters.
Good point.
I don't know. What do you think?
We could really efficiently flesh them out. Because, I mean, we've seen this.
Ensemble
cast things where you can very much flesh these characters out in one act, because you don't want them to drag it out.
Yeah, which is what I'm worried about. I'm worried that this is showing the first, like, 2/3 of the film, and it really should be showing the first 10-20 minutes.
Jayson, just with what little we've gotten to see of these actors so far, who are you most interested in seeing what their performance is like as you recreating one of these characters?
I'm thinking, let's see, Kimberly. Because
I actually am too. That's the character I'm most interested to see what they do with.
Yeah, because I really liked her in the show. So
for what little we've gotten to see, and it's obviously not a lot, it's a teaser trailer. I mean, you complained to me earlier that it's a little long for a teaser trailer. But everybody looks like they can act.
Yeah, there's no one that I'm cringing through. What did you think of Rita?
Well, she was pretty good.
Did you know that was Rita?
The girl that's floating above, I think it's Kimberly. It's either Kimberly or Trini, and she's like choking her, and she says like, "I've killed rangers before."
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
which is really the one bit in the trailer that's Power Ranger-y at all, right? Where you get a sense that, okay, maybe the bad guys will be really over the top.
Well, and it's building into the idea,
but still potentially scary.
And it's building into the idea that was always there in the original, that these are not the first Rangers. Like, this is just how Zordon gives people powers. Like, Rangers are an idea. And we get into that even more.
Zordon can't do anything himself, so he has to find someone else to do his job for him.
Yeah. And she's creepy. Like, of all the things in this trailer, she's creepy.
And, yeah, I really liked that. And we don't get a real good look at her because they're trying to conceal all the sci-fi stuff, all the superhero stuff. And you told me earlier you really don't like that they're doing that.
I don't like it. I can't think of a property that we've ever done that with. In this teaser, it feels like they're afraid of that material, and they think that people won't take it seriously, so they have to put out something that's going to make people think this is like a real serious thing, and then you dupe them into being like, oh, it's Power Rangers.
See, I think those are potentially two different lines of thought, though. I don't think we want people to know that our Power Rangers movie, or we want people to think it is, whatever this movie ends up ultimately really looking like. But I mean, any way you slice it, given that they're in a prison school and stuff, it's more serious than that show was. Mm-hmm. So I mean, like, that's a thing I can glean from the trailer without jumping ahead too hard. But I think it's a different line of reasoning potentially of we want people to think that this is, people who wouldn't necessarily just go see a Power Rangers movie think that this is a serious character drama and we're afraid of the material. I don't think those things are mutually exclusive. Like I really think that potentially that this is a strategy where they're trying to catch people's attention. I think maybe what they're doing is they want people to see this in the theater and not know it's Power Rangers and get perked up by it, and I don't know if anybody will, is the thing, because it looks a little generic, but and it doesn't look bad, and the production values look fine.
No, it looks good. Budget-wise,
and it looks really artistically shot. I mean, it looks like the people making it want to be there.
And I wasn't. I mean, and this is a teaser trailer. I wasn't expecting Zords.
Yeah.
Zords are like Spider-Man Civil War, right? Like, you save that to the second or third trailer.
Good point.
I'm fine with that, but I expected to see some stuff with the suits.
Yeah.
And that's
are you disappointed that we didn't get to see any like fight stuff or Ranger suits and that kind of stuff?
Well, yeah, but I think the guy who kept always falling down was Book.
There was a guy that kept falling down?
The guy that hits Billy and then falls down, the redhead guy?
I didn't think of that. That could be Bulk.
Yeah.
Was he big? Was he like a big guy?
Not really.
Oh, okay. If they use Bulk and Skull, I imagine, first of all, that they won't be major characters and that they'll probably be like cameos or just kids they go to school with. Mm-hmm. And second of all, that they'll use their real names and never call them Bulk and Skull. I bet it'll be Bulkmeyer.
Oh,
it'll be Skullovich, yeah. I think that'd be kind of cool, actually, if they didn't even call them Bulk and Skull. I don't think in 2016 you get away with everybody endearingly calling a fat guy Bulk. I don't think we do that.
You could flip it and make him a muscular guy.
True. You could do that. Speaking of bulk, I'm surprised that Jayson doesn't look real built.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't seen him with like a muscle shirt or with a shirt off or anything, so maybe he's bigger.
Well, it doesn't seem like any of them are martial artists.
Mm-mm.
And I mean, we see some stuff in the trailer where like people are doing some moves.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like anyone does it recreationally.
And they don't have to.
No. Well,
certainly that's a precedent that Mighty Morphin set that we got away from real quick.
But Jayson does do martial arts? Like, that is his thing?
Yeah, and so I hope he still does.
Yeah.
But I'm just commenting that just based on this trailer, or this teaser, can you get your arms down? That based on this teaser, he doesn't look real built up.
No. Well, I mean...
But he might be, and I can't tell.
Well, and martial artists tend to be slimmer than... You know, they're not really, bulky. They're not like Bane.
One thing I would have liked in this trailer, if in this teaser, is if the whole point is give us character traits and make us interested in these people as people when they were more archetypal and one-dimensional before, give us a better sense of what their interests and quirks and things are. We get a little bit of it, and I feel like we get more about Billy in this than we do with anybody. But like, what is Jayson besides the leader? I don't know yet. I think, okay, so Kimberly's I guess a cheerleader as opposed to a gymnast, maybe. There was something about practice. I guess I don't know if
she's part of some team. It could still be a gymnast team, but she's getting.
And would the prison school have cheerleaders? I don't know.
No. It's because it's the girls. The girls are ragging on her, and they're like, "This is what you're doing instead of being at practice."
Yeah.
I think she used to be that, and now she got in trouble, and she's going to this school, and now they're giving her crap. Maybe.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Because there's the girls that are being mean.
Right, yeah. But what do you think they're talking about?
I think it's that now she's going to the prison school. I think they're making fun of her because she used to be...
you don't think they actually go to that school?
I don't think so. I mean, maybe they do, but that was...
I wouldn't have thought of that.
The only thing that I could assume the line of, so this is what you're doing instead of... You're going here instead of...
So it might be that, or it might have something to do... That might be after they become Rangers.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
There might be something else that she's doing that she has to do because she's a Ranger. Or maybe it's because of who she's associating with now. Maybe she's doing something with Billy or something. I don't know.
You might be right.
Billy seems to be... you said OCD. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, with how he's arranging things.
Mm-hmm.
He reminds me quite a bit of the Blue Ranger in Dino Thunder.
Yeah, I feel like unintentionally otherwise, there's a lot of Ethan James in that character, and he strikes me as immediately likable. Partly because I love Ethan James, and I thought he was a lot like that guy, but certainly a little bit more tortured. And I think all these characters are supposed to be a little more tortured, and they could lay that on way too thick. This could be really obnoxiously angsty.
What I wish they'd done, instead of giving us this, if this is more character focused...
If we had more superhero stuff, the kid would be saying more.
Yeah. If we're trying to say, like, this is a more character-driven, more character-focused film, give me 5 one-minute teasers, one about each character.
Oh, that's great. Boy, that'd be really cool. I love that idea. What else did you see that you wanted to talk about?
Well, but I never saw the command center in the trailer.
Well, we see that little thing at the end with the big glowy when they morph. That might be the command center?
Yeah, and what's weird about it is unless he's on the other side, obviously so far Zordon's nowhere to be seen. Now, I'm imagining maybe a command center with multiple chambers, and I think that would be really cool.
Mm.
Well, maybe it's like... Maybe it's like Star Trek where, like, there's a battle bridge and a main bridge.
Yeah, right, where there's, like, different sections of it where they do different things. I'm hoping we get to see where they store the Zords this time.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because that we almost never do in Power Rangers.
No.
Well, but
And you know there's a hangar somewhere because Billy... There's stuff in Mighty Morphin. I love it whenever they talk about cleaning the Zords. Where they almost like... There's an episode where they make a bet or something about, like, who's going to have to go clean the Zords this time. I love that. I hope there's something like that in the movie.
Yeah. But, let's see.
Anything else you saw in the trailer that you wanted to talk about?
Well, I didn't know why they were, like, going down a waterfall and stuff like that.
They were just jumping.
Oh, you mean when they were practicing? I think they just went to an area where they could jump.
They're trying out their powers. We should talk about the power thing. 2 things I was instantly...
Civilian powers, that's what they're called.
Thank you. 2 things I was really excited about right out the gate, and again, part of this is because I think Dino Thunder is the best take on this material, as far as, like, reimagining Mighty Morphin in a little bit of a smarter way.
At least the high school take on Power Rangers, I agree.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean, is this version, the high school version, versus the public servants, or cops, or you know, paramedics or whatever, you know, kind of take. They do what Dino Thunder does, where they have their own powers outside of costume. I can't tell yet if they have individual powers, if they can all do the same things.
It seems like they all have, like, super strength and maybe, like, agility.
Mm-hmm.
But then we see it's Kimberly or Trini. I'm having trouble telling them apart in the trailer.
I am too.
It's one of them. When I know it's Kimberly, I'm really interested. Like her cutting her hair, like that thing that people do for control. I think that's a really cool thing.
Trying to find your own, forge your own identity.
But there's a point where she like looks and like some things start exploding. Like they look like they are some kind of like chemicals or air.
Yes.
Which suggests maybe some kind of psychic powers or telekinesis. Of some kind. I don't know if that's her specific thing or if that is a power everyone has.
I would hate for them to be too powerful out of costume. Because since the villain clearly knows who you are, or at least knows who Kimberly is, I think she goes into Kimberly's room. I forget.
So, yeah.
Since we're doing that, like Power Rangers always did, and I mean, like a lot of the tropes are there, just packaged differently. Like you have to have a particular reason beyond not wanting the rest of the world to know that you're a Power Ranger to morph,
be battle,
don't you?
It could
just
be
to protect you. Yeah,
it could be protection.
Okay, but if somebody punches you in the face and they fall over, why do you need that?
Because you're fighting monsters,
and they'd be a little bit stronger. And
that would be maybe my assumption if they already have all their powers.
Because they're getting really far away from what the point of the suits always was,
and it's not called Mighty Morphin. It's called Power Rangers.
And if they're taking this, if they're doing this serious of a version of it, of what it looks like, and what all the, I mean, you have to admit, because I know that I'm liking this teaser more than you are, but you have to admit that so far, all of the promotion materials we've had up to this are really consistent with this trailer, with this teaser. They're real consistent. And I don't know that, with this particular material, I mean, like, I made fun of and this is also Paramount, I made fun of the recent Ninja Turtles movies for not wanting Teenage Mutant and throwing it back in there begrudgingly because people complain. I don't know if this movie could be called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I think that's potentially too silly for the material that we have here.
But what I meant by bringing up that's not called Mighty Morphin is that...
I'm sorry, that's just a thing
they don't necessarily have to morph. It could just be armor.
But they do morph.
Well, I mean, they get armor formed on them. I mean, I guess that's kind of what morphing is, but...
Yeah. There's no way they don't do morphing sequences. I mean, they'll do some version of a morphing sequence, I'm sure. I mean,
I hope it's not that cave. I hope that's not the only...
The only place where they do it?
Yeah. And like any other time, it just... I hope we get some kind of sequence.
I'm wondering if we get... I'm sorry, what were you saying?
I wonder why the power coins are like light crystal balls that are glowing.
What I'm wondering is if they're not, like, inside of a rock, and then when we get it out of that, they are actually coins. Those were on display at a convention recently, and they looked... Yes, and they look exactly... And they called them the power coins, and it's like the power coins are just that, with the rock, and
I like that.
I don't immediately love that either, unless it makes a great deal of sense in the context of it. I'm real open-minded with this.
In space, rocks are currency. They're coins.
That's hilarious. So, but Jayson, to your point, I'm thinking maybe they actually come out of the rocks at some point,
or the rocks like become them, like the rocks kind of change and shift and like something like that.
What's with the ninja-looking guy on the train? Was it a train?
I couldn't figure out if that was like a ninja-looking guy, a putty, or if that was one of the Rangers doing something.
It was definitely... Well, no, I was going to say it definitely wasn't one of the Rangers. It's not a Ranger in Morph, but it could have been like you know what it could be?
Like Night Vigilante?
Yeah, that would be cool if Jayson or one of the other guys
went out and
tried to be a vigilante before Rita even happens. Oh, I love that idea. That'd be really cool. You basically got Night Watcher again from TMNT. Yeah. That would be awesome. So that could be anything. Are we going to get Putties? Are we going to get anything like Putties? Surely.
We have to.
Surely.
We have to get Putties.
Because you have to have a bunch of stuff for them to fight.
Yeah. And I'm interested to know...
Rita's going to have minions. I hope there's a Goldar.
Yeah. I hope there's a Finster.
I hope there's a Scorpina, except Rita looks like Scorpina. Or it looks like a scorpion-themed villain, kind of.
I'm wondering if we're doing... Because there's no way we're doing a bunch of monsters.
Oh, good point. Yeah, well,
which
we have
ones
monsters.
Do you pick? If you're only doing one or two, who do you pick?
And do you make up a new one? Hopefully it's not like generic like BVS Doomsday Monster or Abomination or something. I hope it's not like that.
No, it'd be really cool if they just kind of... Because none of those monsters have a lot of personality. It'd be cool if they...
No, you could reinvent anyone you want
it'd be
to.
cool if they just picked, like, the Sphinx one, because that's a cool look.
They won't do that, though, because they've gone so far away from the original Rita design, and the suits are real different, and I mean, like, this is a complete reimagining.
You can use that as a base.
I'd be real surprised if they did that. It seems like they want to really go their own way. Which, again, I'm open-minded about. I just don't know, from a business standpoint, how smart this strategy is.
What monster would you pick?
That's what I was going to ask.
If they could have one monster in the movie, what monster from Mighty Morphin would you pick?
The guy who does the Z-Waves or the Pudgy Pig?
The Pudgy Pig.
Oh, the Z-Wave monster. There's no way they do that. There's no way they have a giant mic. They have a giant 1950s microphone head. That'd be great. I would love this movie to be set around Halloween and use the pumpkin monster,
or not the pumpkin monster, the Skull Knight,
the headless one,
or the Skull. I don't know. He's not a knight. He's a skull something.
That's what I was thinking of with the Scarecrow guy, the guy who breaks his bones apart. And comes back
that guy.
Because that could look really cool on a budget.
Really cool.
Yeah, but
it looked pretty cool without a budget. Like.
Yeah, but I wonder if they have like a squad or a Babu or a Rito.
Just what that supporting ensemble cast for the.
And there's no way that there's
there's
just a trash can space. Like what wakes her up, what makes it now.
Is she and is she on the moon? You know, all that stuff. Any other characters that you're really hoping make an appearance or that there's an allusion to?
Well,
obviously Zed, and this is one of those. This is one of those movies where I would really like to see an end credit scene that sets up Zed.
I don't think you're getting that. I'm not saying Zed won't be in the sequel. No, the end credit scene is Green Ranger. Like, there's nothing hidden in the Green Ranger in this. I bet you, if there's any kind of teaser, it is Green Ranger.
Yeah, unless they've been real hush-hush about it and they actually do that whole thing in this movie. I don't think they will.
Yeah.
I think because they're making it a big origin movie, you don't do origin and Green Ranger in your movie if you're pacing this as slow as it feels like they might be with this teaser, but I don't know how much stock I can take in that.
Well, but...
No, that's a good point.
Well, and even then, what do you do for your sequel? Like, other than, there's a new bad guy?
Yeah.
Like, Green Ranger's a great sequel.
Well, and... I mean, obviously, based on the series, but they may be going so far their own way they could do Green Ranger any way they wanted to. Green Ranger is not necessarily going to be a Rita thing, except a lot of people think that that's why her costume is green.
Yeah, which, isn't there something else that, like, led credence to that? I thought there was something else that came out where, like, fans were like, oh, that's definitely what they're doing.
I don't remember. I don't know.
Maybe she has, like, an empty crystal thing, or, like, something like that. I don't know. I want to say there was something that, like, a picture or something that added to that theory.
Now, is it possible that Tommy is a character in the film that's not a Ranger yet?
I would love it if Tommy was a character and doesn't become a Ranger until the second
I would love that. I mean, if he was in the background doing Eddie Brock thing with him,
yeah.
Can he stand here? I think that would be the best. So you're right. I won't get... So if this is popular... And that's real up in the air right now. I mean, like this doesn't look like a surefire hit to me.
Film.
Zed's your third film. Yes, yeah. Absolutely. Zed is like either the desperate phone call Rita makes at the end of season 2 because she's been incompetent for 2 movies. One of the things, let me say real quick, that's nice about Power Rangers as a movie franchise as opposed to a TV show is that your villains instantly look less incompetent because they don't lose so many times in a row with the exact same formulaic villain plot. But it would be cool if with 3 it was either she calls him in or it's what it is in the show where he shows up and he's like and he planted her there and she's one of his lieutenants or something.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I'm hoping they have an Alpha 5.
They do have an Alpha 5.
They do have an Alpha 5.
They've cast him.
Oh my gosh.
I'm hoping that...
I don't know what that's going to look like.
I'm hoping that Zordon's not like the MacGuffin of the film and he doesn't show up till the end and then they set up the station and Alpha 5.
Surely not.
As decompressed as this film looks, I could see it. I hope not, but I could see it.
As it looks, if this is more of the film than I'm hoping it is. What we're seeing, like you said, could easily be the first 15 minutes of the film.
I wonder...
Which is what I hope it is.
I wonder if there was what the theme's going to be.
Well,
That's
the
a
nice
good
thing
point.
is, with the very end, we do get a hint of the theme song. So we know the Mighty Morphin song is in that film. And, or it would be ridiculous if some variation of it wasn't, since they put that in that trailer. And you said you thought they would for sure do it. My whole thing is, it's not called Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, so it's either just in the score, it's just an instrumental thing, or you have to rewrite the lyrics.
Or it's just in the credits. I could see that.
Yeah, I could see that happening too.
Especially if this movie is more fun than it's letting on, I could see a Marvel-style cut to credits, Mighty Morphin, some new cover of it, and doing like a cool credits thing.
Don't you think it's likely to be, though, all over the orchestral score? Where, like,
I hope
it's
so.
inside, it weaves in and out of it, and
That'd be cool.
like, I would like, because it's going to be really moody, whatever they do, like a big angsty, moody kind of, like, fanfare that opens this film, but it's dun 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 dun, dun but like it's long and like drawn out, and then I mean that'd be great. And then
that's
we
just
get
kind of the Darth Vader theme, right?
the way you're doing it, yes. And then as they become Power Rangers, I'd love to see this. It'd be like these are kids that that don't even remotely know what their place in life is. It's a coming of age story. We know what the story is going to be to some degree, and then they find
It's gonna be a
it.
coming together movie.
And they find it in being in each other, and they find it in being selfless heroes, and so it becomes more lighthearted as it goes along. This movie looks like Amazing Spider-Man to me.
It does to me too.
Beyond Chronicle, it looks like that take on that material. It's like the Amazing Spider-Man version of Power Rangers that could blow up in their faces,
Especially
or it could be the property that people, for whatever reason, respond better to with it, and also. Those two properties are in such different places and they're different kinds of things, and we were reimagining Spider-Man right after a beloved franchise, and everyone was comparing it to what had just come 3 years before.
Well, and you and I like the Amazing Spider-Man films, at least to some degree.
And a lot of people don't. I mean, a lot of people
I don't know if
too.
Yeah, I don't know if anyone else is picking up on that in this trailer. That could be real bad because a lot of people really don't like those movies. If people are like, this looks like Amazing Spider-Man, and those movies suck.
We gotta be careful and not have the whole thing take place at night.
Oh, yeah. We need some day stuff. We need some quarries. We need some daytime quarries.
What I think would be masterful for them would be if it's dark before they become Rangers, and when Earth is at its most vulnerable. And the Rangers are in the most danger, and it looks most like they're not going to make it. It's sun shining outside. I think that would be a really smart juxtaposition where when they're at their wits' end and it's like the worst thing possible for them, it doesn't feel like it for them, and it's more light than that because they found purpose. Mm-hmm. And so the visual so the visuals of the film are reflective of that.
Well,
I'm just gonna sit here and make this movie.
Well, with the theme song, maybe it could be the kind of theme song with the voices.
With the verses?
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll get like a whole like a new cover that's that whole song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure. Anything else you guys want to bring up and talk about? We talked about this a lot longer than I expected to.
Hmm?
And did a little speculation too.
Yeah.
Are you excited?
Well, yeah. Mhm.
Like, I was a little worried that it might look like too serious and too adult for you.
Yeah.
That you might be
boring.
worried that it doesn't look enough, like it's fun.
And too
But
scary.
you like character stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, the second thing I gotta say this way. The second thing I was gonna bring up is things I'm really happy and excited about that were. Can you stay in frame? There you go. That I was excited about in getting away from the more silly Mighty Morphin formula. Which, don't get me wrong, I mean I love that, but that show, it's hilarious. But I didn't want this to be parody territory, and obviously it wasn't going to be. Is Rita attacking one of the Rangers in their room?
Yeah. No, that's great.
Really like that we're doing that.
It's a no place to hide kind of a thing.
Yeah, like we need to play with how scary it would be if the villain knew where you were and that you were a Power Ranger, and we have to deal with the families in this movie.
Mm-hmm. And they all have
clearly
parents,
will do.
right?
They all have
They've all
parents.
been cast.
Mm-hmm. oh, it could be a real long, drawn-out beginning. You're absolutely right.
I'm not worried about that.
The nice thing with this material is that I'm not going to immediately feel... I'm not worried about it being bored with origin, because there is a potential really good origin story here that has not been told. Because Power Rangers just glosses right over the origin. Mm-hmm. And it... Like, there could be a story there, potentially. I don't think it's necessarily Fantastic Four, where not just give them powers and get going. I think there might actually be something there, because we need to know why these people were chosen.
And again, that's something that the show doesn't touch on.
And you told me earlier that you were worried that this was going to be just another Destiny plot.
I'm worried that they find those crystals, and we are going to be told they found them because they were meant to find them.
Uh-huh.
I don't like that. I don't want it.
I would be okay with them being drawn to them because Zordon chose them on purpose,
yes.
and he has the ability to use that energy to draw them to them.
That's fine.
And they have to, of their free will, make the choice to pick them up, and even after they have already picked them up, they have to make the choice to use them, or they can give them back to Zordon. If that's what they're doing...
But it can't be destiny. It can't be, this is what they were always meant for.
I hope not. Unless it's just meant for in the sense of you were meant for greater things because you have more potential than you're using.
Yeah.
And it seems like it really might go that direction where like these people are all way too smart and clever and have too much heart to be in the horrible place they're in.
And it seems very Breakfast Club-y. Like, not as kind of wacky as Breakfast Club, but I don't know, there's some shots in there and the way that they're bringing like the disparate kinds of teenagers together. There's some Breakfast Club in there. And that could be interesting since
Spider-Man's gonna do the same thing.
Is doing John Hughes.
They want you to think that they're making a really smart character drama, and if it is shot that way and the script doesn't play it right, it's potentially doomed. It could be Fan-Tastic all over again. Although it immediately looks like a way better movie than that, but...
It's true.
Well, I didn't think that movie looked bad from the trailers.
I didn't either. I still haven't seen it.
And that's interesting, because Chronicle guy.
Director, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I really want the Communicators.
Oh, yeah?
They have to do some variation on that, yeah. I hope they're not made of crystal, where everybody's like, why are you wearing this ancient artifact on your arm? I hope so. But see, that's always weird to me, because you'd think that Zordon would have a thing like that he would give you.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Do you need communicators in a day and age where everyone has cell phones on them all the time?
We could it'd be great if we had an amusing joke about that, where they're like, okay, so where's the cool, like, wristwatch thing where we talk to each other?
How do I just text a quick message?
No, what I was going to say is, it'd be cool if they don't get one.
Oh, I see.
And if somebody's like, well, we've got all these other cool gadgets, you just showed us these giant Megazords, why don't we have some cool gadget to get in contact with you, Zordon? And Zordon just goes, I have your phone numbers. Like, I can just, Alpha 5 can contact you through cell towers.
You're on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and we've got your cell numbers. We'll get a hold of you.
I want that. I want the communicator to have monitors that pull up normal websites. I mean, I think in this day and age, they could do so much fun stuff with the current technology mixed in with the ancient, 10,000-year-old technology that Zordon and Alpha are using.
That'd be cool.
I mean, there's a lot of potential here.
Or if Zordon presents as like, we have these communicators, like, well, we have cell phones, you could just, just call us.
What happens when you text
these are on us at all time.
Yeah, it'd be great if Zordon was like, Alpha, read me that text. They're gonna make that a big reveal when they finally do a Zordon trailer, right? It's gonna be a big. They're gonna make a big deal out of what he looks like with Cranston.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be it for us. Thanks a lot for watching. Sure appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing what you folks think about this movie based on what we've seen so far. Leave your comments, and we're looking forward to reading them. In the meantime, I'm Captain Logan. This was Eric.
I'm Eric.
And Jayson. And I'm Captain Logan. Thanks again. And we'll see you again shortly with more videos here on Geekvolution.